Many thanks for choosing us. 2 persons have been injured and over 70 others displaced after a severe rainstorm swept through Junga in the West Mamprusi municipality of the northeast region. The storm destroyed over 50 houses, a school building and several electricity poles, thereby displacing the school children and leaving many houses without electricity. The affected persons now living with relatives and friends are appealing for support, while the injured are being treated at the Junga Polyclinic. Correspondent Ilyasu Tanko traveled to the area and has filed this report.
Alidu Seidu Abu lives in this house with over 20 of his family members. It is a complete structure of about 8 rooms. On Sunday at about 6 p.m., a severe rainstorm hit the community and destroyed 6 rooms in Abu's house.
It was raining small until getting to 6:45 going. So the air came. So I was standing here when my wife came out with her children, saying that the air just lifted the zinc up. So they went to run up and come to their grandmother's room. So I just, blocked them inside the veranda there. So before I could reject that moment, the time that I blocked them, it's that very moment that the air blew, take the zinc up and floor the zinc inside the yard.
Next to Abu's house, a 7-bedroom house has also been destroyed by the storm. It was being occupied by 45-year-old Hudu Wuni and his family members, including his 80-year-old mother. Hudu, speaking to Joy News, said the incident had left them with nothing and pleaded for support.
When the wind started blowing, and it took all the half, the zinc, including everything. We don't have any even place to sleep. My mother, my children, and everybody, we slept outside. The rain, since yesterday, the dress I wear, I'm still wearing the same dress. And we have no anything to do. So we are pleading to the government and then the NGOs to help us to roof about 7 rooms. This is my room. Where I'm standing, this is my room.
His elderly mother, Fati Saka, also begged for support. My TV too. My appeal is to the government to assist us. Officials of the National Disaster Management Organization are still in the community conducting an assessment of the situation. However, more than 50 houses are said to have been affected by the storm, displacing an estimated 70 people. We are displaced and now sleep in our compound. Others are also staying with our relatives. We have friends too, so we are appealing to the government to look at our situation. The storm also damaged a school building and destroyed several electricity poles, causing a power outage in some homes. The headmaster of the school appealed for the school to be renovated as soon as possible.
Because see, some of the students they are using it as classrooms. So if emergencies are not taken, then the school children will have to go home.
2 persons have reportedly been injured when this building, in which they were watching a football match, collapsed during the incident. Edie Adam was in the building when it came down, but he was lucky, having escaped unhurt. We heard a loud sound of the storm, so we started to run out. As soon as we left, the whole building came down, destroying almost everything in the structure. 2 people got injured. One has been admitted, and the other had a cut on his head. Storm incidents are common in the Junga area. As the people continue to count their losses, the assemblyman for the area is appealing to the NADMO to come to their aid.
We just appeal to NADMO too. Sometimes they will appeal to NADMO to also do well this time and don't disappoint us. Do something for the people.
Reporting for Joy News, Ilyasu Tanko, Junga.
And from Junga, be prepared to pay up to 11 cedis per litre for fuel starting in the next 24 hours. That's the warning coming from the bulk oil distributors who blame the situation on volatility on the market. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has seen oil prices rise to its highest level in more than a decade and is on the verge of hitting new record, with crude prices predicted to reach as high as $185 a barrel. Chief Executive of the bulk oil distributor, Senor Osi, has been speaking to Evans Mensah.
Not really with crude, but with products on a metric ton basis, some margins on their current prices. The BBC prices, like I said, they are just quite indicated. Also, for some breaking the trend, some are almost doing the same. And what you see from the OMT's publication is quite reflective of what the market situation is. And I think a big chunk of it has to do with some of the uncertainties around the freight situation and also our currency issues.
The National Petroleum Authority says that the oil marketing companies are not adjusting their pump prices beyond the indicative prices provided to the authority. Mohammed Abdul Kudus is the communications manager for the NPA.
And so the OMCs and the fact that they are buying it through the BDCs are minded by the consequences of the future. And so you see the marginal review. And let me explain this. The review might be irregular, but it is not illegal.
Well, the consumers remain at the and are bearing the brunt of the incessant increases in the prices of petroleum products. What becomes of their interest, particularly as the prices of product escalates? Joining us via phone is Adam Stephen, who is the secretary at the Consumer Advocacy Center. I'm grateful for your time, sir. Now, governments seem to be making more in a situation that is so unfavorable to consumers. Many are worried that government is not making efforts to cushion consumers. Ideally, what should be the situation as far as government policy is concerned?
Hello, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to our viewers and listeners. I think government is not being sensitive to the plight of the consumer. The consumer has no control over the stability of the city. So government should be sensitive to the consumer in that Ghana as a country is an exporter of crude. If you check our budget, government pegged the price of petroleum at $63 thereabout. For now, we are selling our crude in the face of the rising cost of the product on the market. And I think government is not doing enough. Also, there are taxes. There are some taxes on petroleum products that government can suspend at least for now. Then when prices stabilize, then government can reintroduce them if government chooses to. Because the consumer is feeling the heat. Yes.
So, I mean, is there any, alternative left for consumers? What should consumers do at this critical moment?
At this critical moment, we are at the mercy of the government. The consumer has no control over the prices of petroleum products. We can at best hit the streets and demonstrate to the same government to reduce the prices of these products. So first, we would want to call on the government to see to it that some taxes, the ESLA, for instance, the ESLA, a tax on the petroleum product, was introduced ostensibly to clear some debt in the energy sector. The debt has been cleared. The ESLA was to clear a debt of 9 billion. Consecutive figures show that government has raked in over 20 billion. So why is the consumer still paying that tax? It's up to government to read.
Stephen Adams is secretary of the Consumer Advocacy Center. Well, increase in prices of petroleum products means increase in everything in the country. Let's hear from some drivers and passengers on this.
Because I also drivers also to FM. About 30, yeah, it's your man. Because all every day be on weird man. na eduma na we no we dey to fuel any cow na the say some kwan na every day na we to one name hand to mouth kwan eduma kwan na.
For me, I'll just pray the government that you should see the fuel so that they'll do something about it for us.
Young drivers, no. When you have to fuel, so we are Juma, Scout Benyano, who got off fuel, now you say, I won't be in coffee. Yes, can be in fan coffee and fan show, or Yereno, Debia, Joe Pebusia. And Tisrana, Debia, Castra Bano, no maybe or no nest or bim, not titanium or titanium, Yafia Kosu, Yaji 4 city 60 pesos. And so I can this town cry, Yaji 3 city crumple from here to Sua. And yet, passengers and so more. And so they say, I know passengers no more.
From petroleum to power, a number of towns in the northern region are still in darkness because of the sit-down strike by NETCO workers. Last week, the workers laid down their tools to protest various attacks on them by some residents over erratic power supply. The Public Utility Regulatory Commission has since been engaging NETCO Workers Union on the development with the hope to find solutions. On Monday, March 13, there was a crunch meeting between the Northern Regional Minister and NETCO workers to resolve the issues. The Northern Regional Minister says the outcome of the meeting has been positive and power must be restored by close of today. He joins me live from the Northern Region. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Shaibu. What was the outcome of your meeting yesterday? Minister, back on the line to tell us the outcome of the meeting. We'll also be speaking with the Public Relations Officer of NETCO, who was also part of the meeting. Now, the ECG arm of the Public Utilities Workers Union is calling for the immediate removal of the company's managing director, Kwame Agyemang-Budu. According to the workers, Mr. Agyemang-Budu has exhibited incompetence and does not deserve to continue to stay in office. Speaking at a press conference this morning, the General Secretary of POO, Michael Odumata Nyantechi,
and Junior Staff Union of the Public Utilities Workers Union of TUC Ghana met on Tuesday, 22nd February 2022 in the conference room of the Hall of Trade Unions and deliberated on certain pertinent issues affecting the operations and industrial harmony of ECG. The said meeting deliberated on the continuous stay in office of Mr. Kwame Agyemang-Budu as Managing Director after attaining 60 years on February 17th as Managing Director has brought on the company. The deficiency in the managerial competence of Mr. Kwame Agyemang-Budu had manifested in the following results: acute shortage of meters. Some customers have paid for new service for over 6 months and still with disconnections. Shortage of electrical poles for new service and repair works. Absence of basic office materials such as common stationery is affecting the smooth running of the company. Demonstration of one-man show type of leadership, coupled with disrespect and virtual abuse of some directors and general managers. Favoritism in certain delays in payment of deductions from staff salaries for mutual fund, credit union, and other welfare contributions. Ladies and gentlemen, accordingly, the meeting passed a resolution to the effect that Mr. Kwame Agyemang-Budu should not be given any contract extension.
We can now go back to Tamale and find out what time the people in darkness will be brought back to light. And I'm joined via the phone by the Northern Regional Minister. Mr. Sani, I'm grateful for your time. I want you to tell me what the outcome of yesterday's meeting was.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me on set. Yesterday, we had a discussion with the NETCO executive, and we all agreed that the punishment has been punitive enough, and that we needed to restore power to do, and NETCO is doing currently.
So you've been able to get the workers to also go back to work?
Well, the workers were still proven difficult, but we were able to talk to them, to tone down, and to let sanity prevail, which they all understood, because of the assurances that we gave to them. I must also thank PURC for also intervening, because PURC also met with the workers' union, and those meetings had all helped in bringing up these resolutions of restoring power. Because 3 days ago we had a rainstorm in Tamale, which also destroyed some power lines, and those were the ones that were being worked on. Apart from the Kobelmagu situation, where this power theft resulted into some skirmishes, the other problems were due to power transmission line problems. And as I speak to you today, most of the areas that were in darkness due to those service line problems have been put on now.
So exactly what time should people expect the lights to come back?
Oh, by close of day, I think all the lines would have been on.
But you don't know when the workers will go back?
The workers are not on strike. It was just a sit-down strike, but they were still working. They were with line problems, and which was being worked on. Apart from only Kobelmagu, which had that peculiar problem of this power theft that resulted into their transformer being put off. The rest were service line problems.
And has the community been able to fish out those who went attacking the workers?
There were two of them. They have all absconded, and we are still looking out for them. They are on the run. I think these were some of the issues that we had put forward and discussed. And we think that that particular house, or those two houses, should be left.
These two.
The police won't tell you all this because their work is some specialized job that they do. But I'm aware the police are working hard to apprehend these culprits.
Also joining me is Maxwell Kotoka. He's a public relations officer of NETCO. Maxwell, I suggest you were part of this crunch meeting yesterday. Was the outcome anything that your people are satisfied with? All right, so we lost Maxwell there, but I still have the regional minister. So you are assuring the people of the... I'm grateful for you.
NETCO is working on it very seriously.
Thank you so much, Shani Alhassan Shaibu. He's the Northern Regional Minister. Now, back to Accra. State prosecutors handling the Oliver Baka-Vomawo case at the district court on Tuesday failed to show up in court. This left the circuit court judge hearing the matter as an additional magistrate, Eleanor Barnes-Boche, infuriated. She warned she will not tolerate such a conduct. Court correspondent Joseph Akable has the latest.
A member of the legal team for the youth activist, Dr. Justice Shremsai, urged the court to discharge the youth activist. He explained that the failure of the prosecutors to show up meant that they were not interested in pursuing this particular matter. The court, however, took the view that this was the first time they had failed to show up. It would be unfair to discharge the accused person, especially because just 24 hours countenance such a conduct, and also noted that even the documents necessary for the court to make a determination whether this is a case that merits being sent to the High Court for trial have also not been filed. She therefore warned some police prosecutors who were present to inform the police prosecutor handling this particular case that he needs to show seriousness, and that if at the next date this repeats itself again, the court will advise itself. And so the case was adjourned yet again with a fifth bill of indictment. For Joy News from the Ashaman District Court, my name is Joseph Akable.
And in the Western region, the Health and Safety Committee set up to investigate the health and safety regime governing Ghana's mining sector is calling on the Ministry for Lands and Natural Resources to empower the Minerals Commission to crack the whip on mining companies that flout the law. This follows the revelation by the committee that many mining companies invited to present their health and safety plans failed to respond to the committee. The committee was set up following
with the Chief Executive Officer of Minerals Commission, and in addition to the 14 measures that they have already taken, some of the issues we also flagged. He indicated that he's observed them, he's flagged them, and some action is already going on in those directions, including some issues that I don't want to go into details here. So I believe that as we present this report today, with the action already going on, your good self, Honorable Minister, you will engage Minerals Commission and let them continue with the work that they are doing in this regard.
The Minister Samuel Abujinapo said the report is going to be an invaluable one which will guide matters to do with the health and safety of the mining sector in Ghana.
Says this incident, unfortunate incident, is in service of the people in our country. And so this report and all other reports have been worked on objectively, dispassionately, and by men and women of considerable integrity. And we also, those of us who've been given the privilege to serve in government, will approach the workings of these committees and their outcomes with extraordinary transparency and integrity. As I said, to our oaths, and that's exactly what we're doing.
And so to come in business, Ghana Revenue Authority to begin value-added tax in electronic form. We have details in business.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business of April this year. This is part of measures to roll out a full digital tax payment system. According to the Commissioner General of the GRA, Reverend Dr. Amishadai Osuamwa, the EVAT will enhance accountability in the tax collection system.
We also have the system in place, same system in place that we're going to use for the EVAT. And the EVAT is something that we have talked about for some time. That's also being built into this. And that will also take effect from, I'm talking about the local companies. We have selected a number of companies. There are about 300 in all. And then they will start first. And then as we grow, we'll be adding more companies until we now ask all VAT payers to stop using the manual vouchers that we print and fill. And so that's where we are going. I think as I've mentioned, the system has an inbuilt, and so eventually we haven't set the deadline where we will now start enforcing. But when you come to start enforcing, there's a mechanism that ensures that, for example, if you are using, you know that if you are paying money from here outside, it still has to go through. I have a number of compliant things that each of those people who generate money from here are supposed to comply. So this will become part of those compliant things. And therefore, if you are compliant, then you can continue.
Now, the National Task Force of the Electricity Company of Ghana has disconnected power supply to the Ghana Airports Company Limited over debt to the tune of 49 million Ghana cedis. According to team lead Nene's operation, he revealed that the Airports Company opted to pay 1 million Ghana cedis, which ECG says is not enough to cover their arrears. Here's more.
The task force of the Electricity Company of Ghana, in its quest to collect all debt owed by state institutions, were at the Ghana Airports Company Limited at around 11 a.m. on Monday morning to possibly disconnect power supply to the airport after weeks of prior notice. The task force say per their directive, 1 million Ghana less, thus they expect at least 5 million Ghana cedis out of the owed amount.
On our docket, they are owing us about 49,000 cedis, and they feel reluctant to pay. So for now, this 49, that when we break it down, is about 6 accounts. The huge one is how the bill will be paid. So that is why we are disconnecting that particular.
I want to get a figure. Is it 49,000 or 49 million?
49 million.
49 million Ghana cedis.
49 million.
But were they given any prior notice before you coming here today?
They were given prior notice from the region until we, the National Task Force, came in. So they gave us the document to pursue that amount.
But when you came around, were you able to reach out to the authorities of the Ghana Airports Company Limited?
Yeah. We got to tell them that we are a national task force. Wherever we go, no one follows us. So what we want them to do for us, they should tell us, so that we also tell them it can be or it will be. But they couldn't give us any concrete answer until they went in to write a check of 1,000 or 1 billion, 1 million. Yeah.
The task force will continue its journey tomorrow as they chase other government institutions owning the Electricity Company of Ghana.
In other news, Ohima Talks Ghana says it's bent on enhancing the Sustainable Development Goal 4 on education to support economic development. The Youth Development Center is optimistic of spearheading the agenda of supporting Ghanaian students in their quest to develop more skills and build better careers. Here's more from a conference held.
The career conference was to guide students and the youth at large to develop soft skills in information communication and technology that will facilitate their career growth. This will enable them to compete in the global market. Here is the Chief Executive Officer of Ohima Talks Ghana, Nana Abba Frimpong.
We stand to get some internships from both local and international companies. This is to basically make sure that we can give the young people an opportunity to grow, get them young, groom them to understand the ethos of the working environment. I mean, with taking advantage of Black Lives Matter and also with the pandemic, companies are allowing people to work globally. So for example, I work in the UK, but I'm here in Ghana, working in Ghana, and also running this initiative. So really asking companies to really put their mouth where their money is and say, okay, we're prepared to offer virtual internships to young people, and that way we can say, okay, Ghana can also compete globally with other people.
Veteran Ghanaian actor David Donto also called for more investment in human resources in the country.
What we are forgetting is that every nation's first resource is the human being. No matter what resources you have, no matter what capabilities you have as a person, if you as the first resource, you are not trained, you are not given that kind of training to really begin to think like a human being, everything you do actually borders on how animals behave. And that is why they always say, what are pearls before swine?
The Ohima Talks initiative is poised to support the growth of the Ghanaian youth to compete in the global space.
And that's business. There's more coming up at the top of the hour. Sports is up next.
Time now for sports on Joy News today. I am Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. Director General of the National Sports Authority, Peter Chumesi, says his outfit is committed to the development of athletics in the country. According to him, training long-distance athletes is one he's determined to groom.
Division for the long-distance racing, the cross-country, for almost about a decade been abandoned. I think the government of Excellency Nana Dankwa, when he came up to be the leader of this nation, indicated to the people in sports that all manner of sports also need to be given the chance for development and promotion. And so he tasked us to ensure that we evenly spread out our investments. And I think athletics is also one of the areas I think you know very well that the Ghana has been doing so well, except that maybe probably attention that was given of a bit limited. Thanks to him and his government, we were given the opportunity to recruit about 250 new staff, most of them coaches and technical. That means that we're able to spread out to put officers across the nation, about 16 administrative regions now. We have all of our officers who are there working in partnership with the Ghana Athletics Association. You see that there are some of the district assemblies also have some other committees for sports development. We are working closely with them and many other more. And that means that we were able to improve upon our human capacity. And then the resource-wise too, I think we have also been really supported in terms of sports infrastructure. I think you can see they're spread out across the whole country. So what was really necessary for us was to really institute the competitions. So in Poho, with respect to the cross-country, we started this in 2019. Then we went to also a Jumako Central region. We were in the north, western north, the Seshiwi also, and then this one was Achimoda. I think if you look at from the time we restarted, and then all the various competitions, that you see progression. You see it advancing to the point that Achimoda was the climax of all. I think if you really make the comparisons, where we have the Ghana Athletics Association, who was also advised to even take the athletes' data and make them available to World Athletics for them also to be utilized and given opportunity. So this has seen so much advancement. And
let's do some boxing now. And Ghana's bronze medalist at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games, Samuel Tachi, says he hopes to understudy Ike Cortez so that he would become a world champion. Since moving up in terms of weight to become a professional boxer, Tachi is very confident that understudying someone like Ike Bazooka Cortez will make him a world champion.
Ike Cortez is a world champion, so he knows the road to be a world champion. So I know he can show me the road for me to become the world champion. So I trust him, and I also trust my team that he can do it, and we all do it. I'm no more an amateur boxer again. So what I have to tell Ghanaians is that the support they give it to me at the amateur level, I'm begging them to give me that support at the professional level too.
Let's take a look at the fixtures for the UEFA Champions League matches that will be happening tonight. It is Manchester United versus Real Madrid, whilst Ajax will sit at home and come up against Benfica. Who qualifies to the quarterfinal of the competition? Time would tell. And this is how we wrap up sports here on Joy News Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. Up next is World News.
Time now for showbiz. Ghanaian actor Bila Samoa has requested government gives the creative arts industry $2 million to be able to fund streaming platforms that would help the industry keep itself going.
Of these conversations are ongoing. This app of the thing that I'm talking to you about, yes, there's the Film Producers Association out there who are equally looking outside the box. They are looking for investors. They've got their business plan out there, all about this particular app that we are talking about. They've got business plan out there, talking to some of the banks and then waiting to see who will be able to come support us. So it's part of the things that we are all doing. That is how come I mentioned that we need government to come. If government should say help us with probably a $2 million some amount of money, we can get this thing done in no time. You understand? So we can break the doors, but let us still be knocking for now and then hope that government listens to us.
And that was Bila Samoa speaking to Andy Dosty on Daybreak It. Away from that, producer Kwabes on Daybreak It with Andy Dosty.
Who else have you worked with?
Current. Current. In Ghana, right?
Yeah.
God, I can't really remember.
Is it because you're choosy in the musicians you work with?
I am not choosy. I think it's more like the ones that come around, because after a while you build a reputation of, Kwame's like this, Kwame's like that, and some of the words changes, the stories changes. Whoever says it has their own version. So,
okay.
I don't try to correct it either. It's fine. So I basically, the people I meet are the people that come my way, but I've been privileged to have very good singers to work with. Each time I've been around in the studio, there's been a very good singer, whether it's Kojoenchi, Kobna, or Efia. I worked with Efia before.
Okay.
I've done a few things that over the years. I work with Tego Sisters and.
Which of their songs did you produce? Yes, it's very good. You've mentioned.
Anka Matiti and
Okay.
Fabibiaram and
Yeah.
all the ones are by me. And I also did, God na Helele. God no why.
What else?
Helena Rabbles.
Helena Rabbles.
Yeah.
Oh, you produced God na Helele.
Yes.
Wow.
I was 14, I think, or 15.
14?
I think so, or 15. One of them around the same time.
And that was producer Kwame Abua.
And that's how we wrap up news today, this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to my channel online. You get updates of all the developing stories. Enjoy the rest of our programs.